Okay. No echoes?
No echoes on my end. Are you hearing any echoes from me?
Nope. All good
Sweet.
so far.
Awesome.
Excellent. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. Juice and Heel, Pat's on top. Anna, thanks for joining. We're just going to give it another minute or so for more to join. And yeah, welcome to Sacred Sundays.
Mm-hmm. Welcome.
Okay. So how have your energies been this past week?
Yeah, I tend to get a little bit, I have a tendency to kind of live in my head and not see anything else. So if there's a lot going on for me in a week, things can happen and I'm not consciously aware, but it'll come out in funky dreams or irritability or inability to sleep or things like that. And yeah, because I haven't been well this past week, I came down with a virus and I'm over it now. But I think it caught up with me in that my defenses were down and I was letting stuff in I wouldn't normally let in. But 3 days after, because I have a remedy that 3 days later I'm back to normal, and I had this burst of energy. It's like I was in fifth gear all day long yesterday. All day I was like nonstop, high octane, and I had to stop and I'm like, what the heck? What the heck's going on? I've got all this energy and I feel like I could conquer the world. And not only that, but I was hyper aware of everything. And I was just like, it was like a string that was pulled taut and humming. If that's the best way I can describe it. Yeah.
I was going to say, you're going to have to share that remedy with everybody here.
Yeah. It's no joke. You stink like garlic for 3 days, but it
works.
Knocks it out. Oh, it's crazy effective remedy. Yeah, absolutely. I will.
Hello, the Stasia story.
Hi, Stasia. Yay. Yeah, I shared this with a few people, and nice to see some people are able to join. That's great.
Excellent. Okay, so let's, I think we should maybe just start and recap our weekly reading. And then we'll just do live tarot for whoever is joining. We got 803. Yeah, I think we can probably start. Or do you want to wait another minute? What do you think?
Well, why don't we start with a bit of preamble? Maybe we'll do a recap of last week for anybody who wasn't here last week, because there's some of what came up for me anyway seemed to be a continuation of last week.
Go for it.
Yeah. All right. So we had an interesting, the two of us pulled again, very similar cards. Steve's cards seemed to give a state of things in the collective and how everybody was feeling and what was happening for everybody. Remind me, the first card that you pulled, the Major Arcana, was it Judgment? No. Was it Judgment?
Yes.
It was Judgment.
I believe it was.
So, which denoted a significant step in the awakening process for the collective. And then the other cards, we had a reverse Ace of Cups, which was, again, false starts with everybody's intuitive journey and maybe not their hearts not being in the right place with it, maybe from confusion. And then the reversed Three of Swords was, it's time for you to forgive. There's been people in your circle that maybe haven't been treating you very well because you're awakening and they're not, and it's time to forgive. And then the cards I pulled denoted, again, the same thing with regard to first of all, the Two of Cups meant time to partner up. If you've got somebody in your collective that's thinking like you are, join forces because you'll be infinitely more successful that way. The Queen of Wands said now is the time for action. We were moving into a new moon last week, and it was take advantage of the new moon energies and start that project. And then we had the Knight of Pentacles to say, okay, while you're doing all that work, slow down and look at your resources and don't go too crazy with them, because the time is now to start saving up and planning and reflecting.
Yeah.
So now this is the second week after. So after all of that happened, we did another pull for the collective this week. And so that's our theme every week is to see little temperature check to see what's happening with the collective. So Steve, do you want to tell everybody what you pulled this week? And then I'll go into my cards.
Absolutely. Okay. So my first card that I got this week was the Six of Swords. Okay. The Six of Swords in general is about, okay, so let's explain swords very quickly. It is an air element card, and it is about the truth, and it is about speaking the truth and hearing the truth. Really resonates a lot with your throat chakra. Okay. And being that it's air, there's a lot of movement. Okay. So it's never stable. Now the six here on its own is really signifying, you're coming from troubled waters, and you're trying to navigate through those waters to a peaceful area. Basically, you're moving your boat from rough waters to smooth waters. Okay. And that could signify, you're tired of the drama or a lot of the things that's going on with in your life right now. And you just want to get out. Okay. So that really is what the Six of Swords is all about. The next card that I pulled is a Major Arcana card, and we've got the Lovers. Okay. The Lovers, again, very positive card. It's about partnerships. There's a duality energy there. You're looking, it is emotional. Okay. It's a very emotional card. So there's a lot of creativity, a lot of passion. And it typically signifies a love interest, a partnership, something new on the horizon. It is number 6 on the Major Arcana, which is signifying it's at the beginning stages, okay, of your Fool's journey. The card following the Lovers is the Three of Swords. Now, the Three of Swords here, again, swords, I'm not going to repeat what they are, but the three is all about hurt and heartbreak, pain, and it could stem from either being backstabbed or, you're finding something out about a relationship that you're in that really hurts. So you can see that the swords are right through the heart in this picture. And the woman here, she's in agony. She's in pain. There's no doubt about it. Okay. So she feels like she might have been betrayed. Mm-hmm. Now, putting all the three cards together, we're looking at someone who is trying to get away from their current state or their current situation by, sailing to the smoother waters. Okay. And, when you get there, you're thinking, oh my God, yeah, it definitely is greener on this side of the fence because you've got the Lovers, right? So everything seems to be going well and smooth. And then all of a sudden, what pops up? Where are we here? The Three of Swords. Okay, so it's not as it seems to be. And I think what that's trying to tell us, and this is going to mimic exactly what your cards are, Kat, is you're running away from something, but you're not dealing with the issue. And you think it's greener on the other side, but guess what? Those issues are going to follow you. They're going to follow you there, and you need to be able to deal with them to move on. Okay, so how does that resonate with you? What do you think of these cards?
So yeah, the other thing I find interesting about the Lovers card, and anytime a Major Arcana is pulled, it's significant because it's karmic.
Yep.
So the work that's happening this week, according to Steve's cards, tell me that, you feel like you're moving ahead, or you're trying to make a clean break, maybe moving ahead in your pilgrimage or your journey and your spiritual awakening. But the Lovers card also denotes a decision to be made between, is it good here? Is it greener on the other side? And it's a reminder that there's always a double-edged sword, and there's two sides to every coin. And in this case, the collective is making some decisions that maybe aren't turning out so good because there's some betrayal happening there.
Yeah.
So it's a reminder that sometimes we need to take a step back and reevaluate things. Don't make decisions quickly. Don't avoid the urge for knee-jerk decisions. Make sure that you're weighing all of the options and you're looking at both sides. And if anything can go wrong, be prepared for it to go wrong. But don't necessarily look at it as a bad thing, because it's all about the awakening. It's all about the soul journey. And like we talked about last week, the soul journey, when you're awakening, is not comfortable. In fact, it's supposed to be a little uncomfortable. And a lot of you, according to Steve's cards, are feeling it this week.
Yep.
That's what I get.
It's going to be an up and down week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And how about your cards? What did you pull today?
So I'm going to go through these one at a time. And again, they resonated. It's funny how the cards, there's so many of them. Like, you've got 72 cards and they all have distinct meanings, and then if you read reversals, it's even different. And then if you're intuitive, it's even different. So there's really an infinite number of ways that you can interpret these cards. But the first card that I pulled is the 10 of Swords, and I pulled it in reverse.
Uh-huh.
So when you have it this way, it's, endings, it's betrayal. It's the only place to go is up. That's how I like to interpret this card. The only place to go is up. And it's a lot of heaviness, and obviously this person is a victim. But when you reverse it, it weakens that energy. It's not quite so bad. It's okay. Yes, there's been betrayal. Yes, you've had feelings of betrayal, but this card in reverse tells us that you can rise from this fairly easily. You'll bounce back fairly easily from it. So if any of you are feeling those betrayals from Steve's 3 of Swords, it's likely that it can turn out for some of you. And again, you choose your attitude around these things, but there's a chance you can bounce back from this with a lesson relatively unscathed. So for some of you, that's going to be the message for you for this coming week. Don't lose a whole lot of sleep over these things, because for those of you that are really paying attention and are really determined to get through this awakening, you'll find a way to bounce back from it. And then the next card I got was the 6 of Cups in reverse. 6 of Cups is a lovely card. When it's pulled upright, it means nostalgia. It means reconnecting with long lost friends or family members, or just those, or the feelings surrounding same. But when it's pulled in reverse, it usually denotes childhood trauma or some kind of negativity from your past coming back to haunt you. Another key milestone in your spiritual awakening. If you're doing that inner work and you're looking very closely at yourself and how you're reacting to all of these lessons, some of these ugly things are going to come up and bubble to the surface. And it's really important that you deal with them. If you're going to move forward, it's important that you do that healing and you face this past, warts and all, with a mind to resolve it and move through the other side of it. So that's coming up for some of you this week. And then my third card, the Fool. So similar to the Lovers, early on in the deck, so it's obviously the beginning of the journey. And like the Lovers is also still the beginning of a duality, or the beginning of a partnership, or the beginning of something where a decision has to be made. The Fool is the very beginning of the journey. And it was pulled in the upright, which is the best way to pull it. Karmic Major Arcana card again, saying for some of you moving through this week, because this was the last card I pulled, so the way I'm interpreting this is that by the end of the week, you might be a little battle scarred, you might be a little shell shocked, but it's going to pave the way for you to begin anew, for you to take a fresh step in your soul journey, whatever that might be for you, now that you've gone through those lessons and you've had some time to do that inner work and to heal. So putting them all together, same thing here. You're going to bounce back from any of those betrayals that you might encounter this week. Be prepared for some negativity from your past to come bubbling to the surface, but it's all going to help you move forward in your journey. Steve, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And to me, the Ten of Swords, when you have it in the reverse position, like you mentioned, that the energies of the upright position kind of drift off a little bit, and you almost have a little bit of a rejuvenation going on. So it's almost as if you're learning the lessons of the Ten of Swords in the upright position, and
Yeah.
you're starting to kind of switch your outlook and move forward, right? And then you've got the Six of Cups in reverse, which, like you mentioned, is going to be a little bit of pain. Maybe someone's childhood or their past is, like you mentioned, going to creep up, and it's not going to be such a nice memory. Because to me, when the upright position of this card is being presented, you're thinking of your happy childhood memories, the nostalgia, the happy family life, and so on. But in the reverse, like you mentioned, there is maybe some childhood trauma that's going to come forth. And then you move into the Fool. And the Fool's all about new beginnings. And you have all the tools that you need to start a new beginning.
Mhm.
And to me, that's saying, you know what? The lesson that you're going to learn this week from the Ten of Swords and the Six of Cups is going to push you forward to start a new journey.
Mhm.
So I think, both of our cards, really, there's pain present.
Mhm.
For me, the Three of Swords and the
That's
Six of
painful.
Swords, trying to go away from that actual place that we're in. And then I've got the Lovers and you've got the Fool. And those, the Fool and the Lovers are both very positive cards in a sense. New journeys, new feelings, new expressions, new creativity. So this week, I think it's going to be a lot of up and down for us. And I just want to put it out there. So for the people that are watching, when we pull these cards for the general collective, they're not specific readings tailored to you. They are for the general collective. So whatever theme that pops out that resonates with you, that's what you're supposed to pick up from this week, right?
Mhm.
So if you want like a specific dedicated reading, you can contact myself or Kat. We can do that for you. It's going to be different than what you see here. Okay, there might be a lot more cards involved. There might be tarot spreads involved, and so on. But Kat, dead on. I think we both have very similar cards or meaning of similar cards, even though our cards are different.
Mhm.
It's going to be a wave this week. We're going to have to tread through those waters, whether it be painful or not, come out the other side, learn that lesson, and move forward.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The only way around it is through it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So before I think we go into pulling some tarot for some of our viewers, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that we're going to be doing this week or coming up. So some workshops maybe and so on. So I'll let you go ahead with I know you have something scheduled.
Mhm. Yeah, so we have next Sunday, we have a Reiki Level 1 course happening at My Blissful Lotus at 1600 Gerrard Street East in Toronto. For anybody who's local to Toronto and you're looking for a way to reconcile all these energies that are happening during your awakening, Reiki is one way, not the only way, but it's one way to do that. It teaches you how to manage your own energy, and it teaches you how to sort of tune into what you're giving out, but also reinforcing boundaries and having healthier energetic relationships and connections with others. Once you learn this, you have it for life.
Yeah.
and the ability never goes away. And the more you use it, the stronger it gets. So if you have questions about Reiki, what it's all about, what the class entails, it's a full day, 9 to 4, 9 to 5, depending on the class size, and what all is involved in that, just send me a note, DM me. I'm happy to give you some details, and then you can consider that as one possibility for something that you can do. So
Perfect.
that's Sunday. Yeah.
And everyone, you can find Kat at Well Earth Holistic on Instagram. Okay.
Yeah.
For myself, I have another live tarot coming this Thursday evening. On Wednesday evening of this week, I'll be doing, it's a tea and tarot, again, at My Blissful Lotus, 1600 Gerrard Street East. And there's a small donation, and the donation we typically give to the Wildlife Center. So yeah, look out for that. I'll be posting that on my my story as well. So and post on the Instagram. Yeah, so that's two things I've got coming up this week.
So how do they sign up for the Wednesday tea and tarot?
They DM Zuleika. It'll actually have it. The instructions will be on the post.
Right.
So look out for that.
Yeah.
I believe there's a phone number that you're going to be texting or messaging or so on.
And I think she tagged you in that, right? So it'll be on your page.
Yeah. So I'll post it either tonight or tomorrow morning.
And I think it's $5 just to hold your spot, because we have limited spots available for that one.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure to get on it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and it is I will say it's fun. Every time we've done them, they've been fun, and they're small groups. They're kind of intimate, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because you get to do a little bit more details when it comes to tarot.
Right.
Okay. So let's see if there's anyone currently on the live that would like a reading. Again, we're just gonna do like a 1-card pull for anyone. By all means, you can write something in the chat window, and we'll go from there. So again, it's going to be a very general reading for the one person, and yeah, and that's about it. So far, I want to just thank everybody that's actually okay. Josie, here we go. Josie, we've got, do you see a relationship coming up for me this year? So let's we'll give that a quick, I'm just going to cleanse my cards. All right. Let me just close my eyes here. Ooh. Did that card flip over?
Get one?
Yeah.
Ooh. So did I.
All right.
Want to go first?
Sure.
You pulled yours first.
Okay. So Josie, the card that I pulled, or the card that came flying out for you, is the Hangman. And this is a very interesting card because it sounds horrible, but it really isn't. Okay, it's not your typical hangman, what you're thinking. So if you see the image here, you know, there's a person doing a yoga pose, and they're not stuck. They are free to get out of that pose, okay? But the key thing with this card is, look at, there's a light behind this person's head. And what it's trying to signify is a few things here. So the Hangman, you're looking at your life from a different perspective. It's trying to tell you, look at it from a different perspective. Don't go with what you've been going with through the past, because that is like almost like an ingrained thought process. Go upside down. Look at your life differently, in a different way. Okay. The other thing with the light here going on is there is some divine guidance. There is some guidance that is pushing you or trying to maybe send you a message when it comes to a relationship. And so I think that you know, if you're really looking for a relationship and you're kind of on the hunt for it, maybe look at it from a different perspective. Maybe the relationship you need to have is with yourself for the time being. But let's see the card that Kat pulled and see if it gives any more clarity.
7 of Cups.
Okay.
Sorry, no more clarity. This is a card of distraction, temptation, being focusing in all your energies in all kinds of different directions at once. So it makes me think that you're maybe a little confused about the whole thing. And do you even want one? And if you do, then what's it mean for that? And there might be too much thought going on in your head about this, Josie. And I'm wondering if, so it's like Steve's card says, look at it from a different angle. Maybe it means, yeah, maybe that's not the question you want to ask right now. Maybe. Because
Yeah.
this tells me that there's so many other things. Aren't you selling your house too? Like, I'm just is this the same lady that's selling her house? There's just so many things going on for you right now that, yeah, maybe the timing isn't right. It's not saying yes or no. I'm not getting a yes or no here. I'm getting a maybe. My card is a maybe.
Both of these cards, like if we look at a yes or no, they actually fall in the middle. They're maybes.
Yeah, they're maybe cards.
And so this is why I'm saying, for me, I think it's yes, you're right. The 7 of Cups, what you've got there is really all about choices. You have a lot of choices in front of you, which could present themselves as distractions. When it comes to like a relationship, it's very possible that you have too many I don't want to say standards. That's not the right thing I'm looking for. Help me out here, Kat. Too much criteria maybe that needs to be filled or that you're looking for.
Complicating it.
Yeah, and this is why this card is coming up, to look at it from a different perspective. Let that go. Let your thought process go for a little bit and try something different. Instead of trying to fit in that box, let it go. Does that make any sense to you, Josie? Yes, there we go. And she said that's true. Yeah, I think you have a lot going on this year, and like Kat said, you know, with the house and so on. So don't try to complicate it with, I guess, someone else being in your life. Just do what needs to do. If that person's going to come into your life, they will come.
Yeah, and I'm also getting that too. I'm getting that sometimes when you stop looking for something, that's when you find it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So perfect. Excellent.
Great.
Thank you, Josie, for your question, and thanks for joining.
Thanks,
I'm not sure if there's anyone else on the live that is looking for a reading.
We got time for one more, I think, right?
Yeah, if there's anyone, thanks, Josie. So I hope that answers your question. So we'll just see if there's anyone that mentions it. Again, we do this every Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So book that in your calendars. We love this. This is fun for us. And, you know, it can be fun for you as well. Any other things you want to mention, Kat?
When it comes to tarot, remember that the cards will take your question very literally. So craft your question carefully, because you want to give some thought to the answer you're really looking for, and let that sort of guide you in how you craft, because they will take your question very literally. They're like an 8 ball. They'll take your question very literally.
Yeah, and you know, another thing about tarot, I think that people sometimes don't realize, is when you ask a question, you might not always get the direct answer. You're going to get an answer that the cards or the message that's trying to come through is to tell you. So it might not be direct, but it might be somewhere in that alignment, just kind of veered off a little bit, you know? So,
absolutely.
All right.
And you can also ask a question if you don't want to divulge your actual question, you can just say something, will I be successful at my project, or something. If you don't want to, because it's a public forum, maybe you're not comfortable, right? We don't need all the details. You just have to ask us, yes or no. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? Will this be, is this decision, whatever? And we'll see what the cards say. So you can do that too.
All right. Okay, let's see if there's anything else going on in the chat window. No, it's very quiet. Oh, Adam, is there more unexpected money coming up this year for me?
Ooh, unexpected money for Adam.
Unexpected money.
That's interesting.
Okay. That is a very interesting question. Okay, so just going to cleanse the cards.
As I started to shuffle, this card was like, me. So, and upright.
Yep.
So, I don't know, Adam, if you have any partnerships coming up, or if you have any plans to start a joint endeavor with somebody. If so, then that could be one way. That happens.
Yep, absolutely. The Two of Cups there is really signifying some kind of a partnership. And cups really, like, so if we're looking at a money perspective, it's going to be something that is going to involve the passion that you like to do.
Yeah.
So if you're an artist and you're painting, that's where you need to go, because that's where your passion lies, right? Yeah. Now, the card that I pulled here is the Four of Wands. Very fiery card, very creative, and it's a very positive. Both of these cards say yes to me.
Yeah, they both say yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And the Four is basically like it's a homecoming. It's happiness, success, and time for a celebration. So what I'm gathering here, I think if we're going to put these two cards together, Kat, I'm saying that, there's going to be some kind of a project that you need to collaborate with somebody, or something new is coming your way very soon, actually, that involves, a passion or creativity that you have for a specific topic. And there will be money coming your way, definitely, for that.
Woo-hoo! Don't forget your favorite tarot card readers when it comes.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. I'm like, I want a little bit of a cut of that.
Dinner's on Adam.
So, Adam, I don't know if this makes any sense to you. If let's see what he's saying. No, nothing certain, but it could be. This tells me that I have to paint more. Definitely, he said with a smiley face.
Yes,
so here we go. So absolutely. Okay. And he said it does. Perfect.
Awesome.
You're welcome, Adam. He said thanks. Okay, so I think what we'll do, we'll wrap it up. I love this timing. We're about 35 minutes in. And anything you want to part with there, Kat?
I think it's just, I really like what the cards are saying. I'm so excited for the collective, because yes, there's going to be some growing pains over the next while, but it's going to pay off in spades. And I think that the more of us that start the awakening process and doing that inner work, the happier and the more productive we're going to be. The world is a really strange place right now, but we can't control that. All we can control is ourselves. Exactly. So if you take the time to do this work, it's going to pay off in spades. And it's so worth the effort. And I'm so excited for everybody. And I can't wait to see what the cards say next week.
Yay. Okay, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Sacred Sundays. And we will see you again next week. Take care.
Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.